Hi, this is Zane in the Hurricane, and we are on chapter 24, Top of the 10. At the end of chapter 23, they're spending the night in a shed that they found that they kind of cleaned out so that they could stay the night. And Malvina and Zane have come up with a plan that they are not going to leave True behind no matter what he tries to say. And that's where we're starting off. All right, chapter 24. Next morning, just like she figured, Mr. True says the plan has changed and we're going to go on ahead without him. Get you to the dome and y'all can tell him where I'm at and they can send an ambulance. Malvina rolls her eyes. You see any ambulances? Ain't no ambulance. Forget it, True. You coming with us. Me and Zane, we carry you. Nah, that ain't gonna work. Too far. I'm gonna draw you a map. They go back and forth like this for a while, one getting more stubborn than the other. Him not giving up on the idea that we should go on without him, and Malvina shaking her head and saying, nuh-uh, no way, forget about it. All the time, I'm looking at the girl and thinking, how did she know? Then I remember how sometimes I know exactly what my mom is going to say or do, so maybe it isn't so strange that Malvina would guess what the old man was thinking since she's known him all her life. Darling, I promise your mama I'd take care of you, and that's what I'm tempting to do. Don't mention my mama. This ain't about my mama. This is about me knowing what I ain't gonna do, and that's leave you behind. He appeals to me, suggesting I should talk some sense into her. And when I look away and start muttering excuses, he goes, What? Oh, no, you in this together? You part of this willfulness, boy? No respect for your elders. Sorry, sir. Don't fight it, True, Malvina says. We made up our mind. She gets on one side and I get on the other, and together we rise at the old man. He keeps muttering about disobedient children, but doesn't fight us too much, and we manage to get him clear of the garden shed. Progress is slow, one shuffling step at a time, and Malvina keeps trying to distract us with her dumb jokes. Why the tomato turn red? It saw the salad dressing. What did the ocean say to the ship? Nothing. It just waved. Why do elephants never forget? Because nobody ever tells them anything. After an hour or so, it seems like a million years, the old man asks us to stop and rest. As we set him down on the curb, he almost faints from the pain. Malvina's hands on her hips says, Man needs a wheelchair. I want to say, duh, no kidding, but the fiery look in her eyes keeps my mouth shut. Then the expression brightens, and she makes another stupid joke. What's a wheelchair? A chair with wheels? Not funny, I say, feeling grumpy and discouraged. Not funny, she agrees, but it might work, Zane. You stay by True. And then she takes off, scampering back in the direction we came from, and soon she's out of sight. I don't know what to think, except she's gone crazy. Mr. True shouts after her to no avail and then turns to me. Go with that girl. Make sure she's okay. She told me to stay. He snorts. What are you, a dog? Somebody tells you to stay and you stay? I can't leave you alone. I promised. I won't be alone, he says. That little dog will keep me company. I hand him the leash. How do you find your way in a wrecked city when you don't know the place before it was turned upside down by a flood? Last time I was on my own, before the storm hit, I was following Bandy, and he knew where he was going, even if I didn't. But on my own, within about 5 minutes, I'm lost. Some things look familiar. We passed that little house with the missing roof, right? Other things I don't recognize, like the bike hanging from a spike on the telephone pole. But then I was probably looking at the ground, helping the old man find his way, or anyhow, not paying close attention to where we were going. I'm starting to feel a little more, sorry about that. I'm starting to feel more than a little panicked when I hear Malvina yelling far away. Come on out of there! Let go! Don't you fight me! Don't you dare! Her agitated voice is coming from a storefront building. Most of the aluminum siding has been ripped off and the windows smashed, but the sign over the broken door says Crescent City Insurance, Home and Vehicle. Before running into the building, I grab a hunk of wood from the street, fearful that she's fighting with somebody, right? But when I step into the storefront, waving a length of 2x4, I feel like a complete idiot. because Malvina is all alone inside, yelling at a tangled pile of furniture that is washed up into the muddy corner. She's yelling at a chair, actually, an office chair, a skinny girl with arms about as big around as toothpicks. She's struggling to get the chair free from the pile, like her life depends on it. And that's when I get it, the answer to the what's a wheelchair. Because that is a chair with wheels, the kind you scoot and spin around like I used to do with Mom's chair at her desk. I drop the hunk of wood and give her a hand. You're really smart, you know that? I say, tugging at the chair. Her grin lights up her whole face. The streets aren't exactly smooth, so the ride for Mr. True is pretty bumpy, but he's able to keep his bad foot off the ground, and that's the only thing that matters. It's just a dumb old office chair, a cheap one with 5 plastic wheels, but it makes all the difference in the world. We're probably looking stupid weaving our way through the streets, a boy pushing an old man in a battered top hat, and a girl dragging a bulky gym bag, and a little dog trotting along behind us. But we don't care. It's like the chair gives us hope. That's hope that things will get better, even if we just give them a chance. The sun is bright, the sky is blue, and Malvina Rollins is full of beans. What do you get when you cross a rooster and a duck? A bird that gets up at the quack of dawn? Why are musicians so cool? Because they have many fans. How you make an egg laugh? You tell it a yolk. How many jokes do you know? I ask her. Too many, Mr. True answers in her place, and we all laugh so hard we have to stop and get our breath back. We sit there for a while, me and Malvina on the curb, and the old man in his chair looking at us and shaking his head like he can't believe what he's seeing. Tall and mostly white, he says, short and mostly black, but couldn't be more different, except you both got that same grin. Now, why is that? 'Cause my jokes are infectious? That gets us laughing again. When we finally do start moving, Mr. True waits until we make it to the end of the block. The buildings aren't quite so wrecked here, and then he raises his arm and points. There it is, he says, peeking over the top of the 10. By 10, he means the elevated highway that cuts through the city. And there, floating like a giant flying saucer, in the ripples of heat rising from the interstate, is the roof of the Superdome.